Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say Gosso, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like them other dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40, yeah. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fun I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so tough. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together, take your place in my heart. With your beauty I must say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look,
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl. Psych. Ooh,
It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, welcome back. How a day? How's everyone doing? Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, my name is Ola, coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Let's talk. Make we yarn. How's everyone doing? Good to see you. As you're coming in, do me a favor. If you can hear me loud and clear, just say loud and clear that you can hear me. Sorry for my bright shirt. Hopefully it's not blinding you out. Okay, welcome back. As you're coming in, do me a favor, hit that like button, share and subscribe. Shout out to all my Obodo fan people that are coming in for the first time. Welcome. This is the Prestige family. Welcome back, or welcome. Good to see you, Billionaire Jumzi, top babe, no. We're here from Obodo fam. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. We have BB. Welcome. Adeomi Bello, my brother. Good to see you. Angela Njogu. Our people. Welcome. And of course, I have Auntie B. Auntie B, how are you? How are you again? Thank you so much earlier. Let's see, we have Chinye is here. Welcome. We have Gomez here. Shout out to Gomez. Okay, shout out to Gomez. Right, and then we have who else? Until Auntie B. So we the Obodo fam are always, let me help you add always to it. Always representing. Yes. Always. Obodo fam is my family. Welcome back. All right, so as you're coming in, please hit that like button, share and subscribe. Let's do some house cleaning. Let's cover some house rules before we continue. If you're not a part of the Prestige family on WhatsApp, basically it's my notification gang on WhatsApp. Okay, you can join. That way you are sure to be notified when I go live. I suppose you're just relying on YouTube. YouTube notification is not always there. That way you can always get a notification. And then if that link is not working, you can use this phone number. Only WhatsApp only, okay? And over here at Men of Prestige, we talk about relationships. We talk about power, okay? We talk about seduction. We talk about attraction, okay? And emotional intelligence, patience, and love. If we have time, we'll talk about marriage. We have to talk about marriage anyway, right? But if you don't understand those 7 things, you probably will struggle with marriage or any type of relationship for that matter. Bossy romantic relationship. Yep. So that's how that works. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this as well, and just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link. But we're gonna be reacting to a Daddy Freeze video today. I haven't watched it. I'm about to listen live with you. I don't know what's going on in it. Some of you might have seen it, but I will be reacting, analyzing as we go. Okay. That's what we're going to be doing today. So what I'll do is, you know what? Maybe let me leave the link for now. Let's get into the show first. All you need to help me do for now is, by the way, these are my 4 books. Okay, I wrote these 4 books, and this book is co-authored with my wife on marriage and relationships. This is basically our story. If you want those books, you can download them absolutely for free at loveandprestige.com. And then also you can access my coaching program from there. The coaching program is paid, they're not free. Okay. Why? Because I can't afford a free coaching program personally. Okay. Thank you so much for understanding. All right. Like I said, hit that like button on your way in. Welcome, welcome. As you're coming in, welcome, welcome. Again, we have Lola Be So Random. Welcome, Lola Be So Random. All right. Bibi says we're here to learn sense. We can hear you, Dada. Thank you, my sister. Hopefully you're a sister. Right? All right. So let's do that. And to be, you have no words. Words about what? Them day here, Obodo Farm day here. Let's make it about Obodo Farm today. How about that, right? But we're going to be talking about this bros right here. We're going to be talking about him, right? Not him. We're going to be reacting, okay, to this story that he told. Apparently, he told a story here, and everybody went crazy. But we're going to listen to the story. I'll react as we go, and then we'll take it from there. We're 13 minutes into the hour. I don't know how long this is going to last. I'm going to take my time. I don't have any other story to cover today, do I? Okay, I have maybe some lessons, but let's just get into it. I want us to get into it. I want you to sit back, relax. It's a Friday evening. TGIF, by the way. Thank God it's Friday. Let's start our weekend on the right foot. Let's extract some massive lessons out of this, right? Shout out to Daddy Freeze because he's a gift that keeps giving when it comes to content to react to, when it comes to madness to react to. All right. So yes, we're using this within fair use guidelines completely, courtesy Daddy Freeze on YouTube. So let's get to it. Shall we get into it? Shall we? What do you say? Should we go for it? Everybody ready? Can you hear me loud and clear? Everybody can hear me loud and clear? Somebody say, oh, it's him, Lucifer again. Words about that mumu woman who is sleeping with, yeah, that's what I heard, but I don't know the details yet. That's what we're about to get into. Yeah, some craziness. The only thing I know is that I slept with him to get my husband a job. Madness. Anyway, let's get into it.
It's not like her husband didn't have a job. But you know, sometimes from my...
Let's rewind small. Oh.
Wilfred Asukwo.
There you go.
Wilfred Asukwo. How you doing, my brother? Buki Shorter, my lovely sister. How are you doing? We're here again. I don't know if I want to judge this matter.
Shout out to you, Ocean Grace.
Called me in a state of depression, paranoid, anxious about her future. It's not like her husband didn't have a job. But you know, sometimes from my
Yvette.
understanding,
Good to see you.
she was one of those wives who was pushy because she wanted a better life for herself and her husband. Her husband, from the little she told me about him, and I did get to talk to the guy, seemed like a very gentle guy who was happy with the kind of life he was living. You know those kind of people where if they earn 20K, They go manage their life around that 20K. If that salary increased to 60K,
it's called being resourceful. I talk to my brothers all the time. It's not about having all the resources in the world. It's about being resourceful. If you don't know the difference between resourcefulness and having all of the wealth in the world, you will basically continue to, you will never be happy. It's semiosi, like, it's like you will never know peace if you don't understand, if you don't find doesn't mean you know these words, but the concept. If you don't understand the difference between being resourceful and having all of the resources in the world, yeah, you won't know peace. Okay, you will always be chasing something. It's also another thing that I look at is the parable of the talents that I use to remind people of being resourceful all the time. Let's keep going.
They go adjust their life. You go enter that 60K. If their
Isabel,
life can increase, go 200K. They go manage their life around that 200K. If their life can't drop from that 200K to 80K, they'll can't readjust their life to fit inside the 80K. You know those kind of people. The guy was an engineer and he was working in an oil company. But he was a contract staff. Then he got laid off, according to the story.
He now
moved to one of those oil and gas servicing companies. So when he was on contract, he was earning about 300K a month.
That's not bad.
When he moved to
well, how would I know?
The service company after staying at home for like 6 months.
When he said 300K, my mind is just in dollars. But pardon me, okay. Naira, okay, 300K a month. Well, it depends on what part of the country they live in, I would think, Angela says, no ambition, no drive. It really depends on who is interpreting that. Because I handled a case some years back where this was similar, extremely similar case, and she was saying he has no ambition. I was like she wants to do this, she wants to do that, she wants to do real estate, she wants to but he has no ambition. What do you mean? Does he have a job? Does he have a livelihood? Are you talking about he's just is content, right? Or how are you measuring ambition against your own ambitions, right? It's something to basically be aware of. It's part of self-awareness. How am I measuring ambition? Am I measuring this guy's ambition against my level of ambition, right? And is this something that he became lazy over time, or this has always been who this person was, right? Something to pay attention to. We don't know yet. Let's keep going. Good to see you, Just Jay.
He now started earning like 120K a month. So he applied for a permanent position in an oil company. Now, one of the people sitting on the board of that company, or one of the people who was supposed to facilitate it, I don't want to go too deep, because they begged me to keep them anonymous, and I said, look, I'm going to have to use your story to teach people.
When you are not just lover.
So I'm going to have to adjust the narrative a little, so you guys, if you won't know that it's them.
Among 200 million people? Yeah.
He went for the exam. Normal guy, that kind of guy will go do exam. They take him, they don't take him. His life continues. But his wife wanted a better life for them. His wife felt that he was too unambitious. His wife wanted those kind of. She saw that it's not like he's dull or he's lazy.
Maybe she wanted a mush.
Don't get that ambition.
Somebody that can buy range, maybe not.
Reach another level.
Let's slow down.
She now
maybe all she wanted was just a little better
his
life.
bosses randomly.
Sorry about that. Maybe all she wanted was just a little better life, better quality of life. Maybe, right? Let's be fair to her too, right? Some guys are just too comfortable. Let's be honest. They're too comfortable. They're not paying attention to what's going on in their surrounding. They call it I'm contented. Money telorun. But bro, are you paying attention to society? Okay. I know that we should have a telorun, but So again, it just depends. Let's see the rest of the details.
She works in a bank, or she worked in a bank, and then she was pregnant with her second child. So she was now looking like, look, I can't do this bank job forever, and this is my husband. He's 120K. How far is he really going to take us in this life?
Right.
She wasn't. He was an engineer who finished school with a 2-1, brilliant guy. She, on the other hand, studied philosophy or one of those art, social science courses. So she went to meet this guy, yeah, and the guy said, look, I'm going to help your husband. So she got all excited and all, and told the husband to apply for the job, blah, 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 blah. And the guy kept leading her on until about a week before the interview. He now invited her over during office hours. Of course, he's a big client, so she could go during office hours. The guy said, look, that here's the thing, yeah, that if you sleep with him, that if she sleeps with him, he's going to help the husband secure that job, that he has a slot in that oil company. He was negotiating between his personal community and the oil company. So the oil company now said, you know what, every year we're going to give you 1 slot. You can recommend somebody for a job with us. It was part of the agreement. So, because the guy has been, how do you put it, negotiating between his people, his village, and the oil company, where they drill and all that, they were giving him one of the conditions was, as long as you are helping us ensure that we can drill oil in this your village peacefully, we're going to give you this. So of course he was wealthy. They gave him a lot of money and things. And one of the things was, okay, you're going to get 1 slot or 2 slots every year. I've forgotten what the deal was. So the guys showed the girl the agreement, said, look, this is my agreement with this oil company. This is what I've been doing over the last 5 years. I'm entitled to a slot, but they've also given me conditions. He must have 2-1, he must have experience in the oil and gas, he must have a relevant course, blah, 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 blah. So it's not like I can go and bring your auntie from the village that study Yoruba and say, hey, you must put them. No. So you have a slot among the people who are going to sit for the exams, who pass. You are now given a slot, because these oil companies will probably be looking for 10 people and 2,000 people will be looking for the job. So out of that 10, he has 1 slot or 2 slots, or depending. I'm just trying to explain the narrative to you. Continue. So, this thing is 100%. First of all, your husband has the experience needed.
Guaranteed.
Chemical engineering, which is a relevant course, especially for the position they're looking for.
So the point is trying to make is that he's qualified, right? But, that's one of the problems with Nigerian society. It's like you can be qualified, but you don't have access, right? But the price for this access is crazy. Let's keep going.
And I have this slot. So here's the thing, yeah. I like you. I fancy you. I saw the woman's picture. She was quite endowed. Curvy woman. Even after 2 kids, quite curvy. So the woman looked at it and said, look. Let me say them say she now agreed to sleep with him a certain number of times, because the guy too wanted to enjoy the current. So what? The stipulated time, the guy recommended the husband got the job immediately. Even the husband was wondering. Everybody was like, how did you get such a competitive role? Blah, 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 blah. So the guy has been working in the oil company, has been promoted like 2 or 3 times. He is now on a 6 million naira a month salary. Or did they pay for that oil and gas? Someone that was earning 120K like 5 years ago is now earning 6 million naira a month.
Nothing to be that.
In choice secondary schools in Nigeria, getting ready to go abroad to further their education. Life done soft. Everything done plumb. He now stumbled upon text messages between his wife and the guy.
He shock you.
His wife now confessed. I'm trying to cut the story because it's a long story and I had to talk to the two of them. I nearly ran mad talking to the two of them.
No. Continue.
Like, look, I was content with my 120K a month. I was ready to allow God bless me. The wife, a bit more Pentecostal, said that because she had been hearing that God will bless you, God will bless you, God will send you a helper. When the guy came into her life, that's the other guy, she saw him as a helper. And you know the way Pentecostalism justifies sin, as long as at the end of the day you can make more money and God has blessed you and all sorts of destiny helpers and shit. So after that, she found herself in a dilemma. She knew that the opportunities are going to get, but she felt at the back of her mind that her husband was going to find out and she was going to get into trouble. So the husband wants to have nothing to do with it. He's Catholic. He's not Pentecostal. He sees sin as sin. You know, Catholic people sees this as what is it called? Adultery. His wife committed adultery. Yes, he wants to forgive her, but he can't bear to deal with it. Blah 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 blah.
Of course, that's gotta be difficult.
So, for the last 1 year, they've been in and out of therapy. They've been separated. And the latest news the husband gave her was he has found a young lady he wants to marry, that he cannot continue being married to her because he can't trust her. She didn't even confess to him. He had to catch her. Blah, 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 blah. She's heartbroken. She is worried. She is sorry. She is sad. And she needs your advice.
She's sorry. She's sad.
What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? Hey, it's killing me. What are my thoughts, BT?
It's killing me, baby.
Hey, anyway, let me see what you all are talking about in the chat. Oh, Lord. I hope my husband signed contract before she slept with him. Well, that's that video of you. We end up in McDonald's. Okay. Indecent proposal is real life for her. Oh my days. Things to make you go, Liz, good to see you, Liz. I hope her husband signed the contract before she slept with him. Well, he has the job. He went from 300,000 naira per month to 6 million naira per month, something like that, or 120, or was it 60? A significant jump in salary, right? Wow, this statement of sleeping with him is giving me indecent proposal movie vibes. Okay, that's a movie, right? Is that an Hollywood movie? I saw some of this, but I'm interested in MOP stake. Thank you, Jared. Liz, see, that's why I'm doing it. And to be so a real indecent proposal. Moral of the story: put yourself forward, or you will end up. you will end up
in McDonald's.
Anyway, let's see. My face. I don't know. I'm just watching it with you. My wife already gave me some gist about this, but I'm hearing it directly for the first time. Let's see. Money over morals. No, nah. In the name of ambition, he's not ambitious enough. You will be shocked, okay? Let me tell you something. When it comes down to these needs right here, right? One thing about these 6 basic needs that I always bring to the forefront, one thing about it is that it means different things for different people, right? Especially when it comes to romantic relationships, it means different things to different people. In this case right now, what she's claiming is ambition. He's not ambitious enough, and she's looking forward to the future, better quality of life. What about saving money for our kids? And the guy is going at his own pace. According to Daddy Freeze, right? This guy is the kind of guy who, if he's making just 60K per month, he knows what to do with it, where he will be contented with himself and he can have a decent lifestyle. But when you're married to a different human being, you need to be aware that their idea of security, maybe his own sense of security, is like, I manage, I'm okay, I'm happy, right? But when you're married to another human being, you will need to be a little bit more considerate, just in general, right? Because there's another human being involved and you care about their happiness, right? So not only about them, but in terms of what the society at large think will be ideal in terms of a level of ambition, right? No one should be okay with just being content. The word being content, you can say content or contented. Both of them are correct. Okay, but you'll be guided, because does that excuse her to this behavior? That's really what we're talking about right now, right? Because he's asking, "What's my thoughts?" Is that the excuse? Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Maybe I should start with that blessing.
Let's hear what some of these callers have to say. Let me go ahead and
it's very long, and to be honest, it's quite a painful story.
It is painful. It is painful.
I don't have light, Daddy Freeze.
You don't have light, TBT Bawo.
How come you at home?
How did you do that?
On leave, family house, and lights off.
Hey, Jerry, remember? Yeah, you should have taken some light in a jerry can from Lagos.
They just turned off the generator.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it to sacrifice your dignity and pride for anyone. You will live to regret it. That's a word. Woto.
I said, okay, can you see me now? Much better?
Much better.
I said it's a very difficult one.
Oh, hell no.
I understand that what she did was quite sacrificial, but...
Wait, I'm confused already. I am confused already. This is a sacrificial. She did say sacrificial. Sacrificial is no. Hey, sacrificial. Anyway, the way Nigerians use their English sometimes. Let's keep going.
It's difficult. Okay, for the man to like appease himself.
Sacrificial.
Because you cannot still have the job and be feeding your new wife off it. It makes no sense. If you really want to be upright, I think the best thing is to resign, so that we all know that. Yeah.
He got another job with another oil. He started looking for another job, got an even better job with another oil company, so he's resigning from that one. He's actually doing what they call, I'm just hearing it for the first time, cross-posting. That he's getting a job that's going to cross-post him to Canada.
From the same platform.
What does it freaking matter? Is she kidding me?
He said he cannot bear to work with them.
But he was never into oil business. She introduced him into that line of business. Now he's using it to get another.
So you see, women. So because they're using they to help you get that thing now on a platform.
Platform.
If I slept with somebody to get my man into a radio gig, if he really wants to be upright, he should leave radio entirely and go back to his recharge.
It doesn't work like that. I don't know. People, what do you guys think? Maybe I'm the one that is a bit too. Maybe
I heard that
I wouldn't say upright. A bit too stiff.
Wait. Let me pause for a second. This young lady talking right now. Have we heard anything so far from her with regards to accountability for my gender? Like, okay, damn. How did you get to this? Somebody said character dignity earlier. I forgot who that person is. Have we heard anything so far? She's talked for about 2-3 minutes already. What she's anyway, let's keep going.
Throughout their marriage, then it's morally justifiable.
Said he was faithful, and she said he was faithful. He's a very gentle guy. Those kind of guys who know if he talk. She said he doesn't know how to argue. That even this, he didn't know how to fight with her. That he just packed out of the house.
Well, I understand with him. If you've been faithful and then someone does that, it's really hurtful. So I get it, and that trust is broken. Because next time the family gets into difficulty and the wife provides, he will forever think she probably slept with somebody to bring that home.
That is what he said. He said someone said he can forgive, but some men cannot live with cheating.
No.
Chidov, how are you doing?
Daddy Freeze, I'm going to scatter this and the women will not like me. How are you, honey?
Hey.
Speaking in now, this year I want to blind.
Let's see. She's ready to do it for her husband too. She is hoping for an offer, Abby.
Ministry. Is ready.
Wow.
She is high on darkness, Auntie B.
How's the family?
The family is good. Anyway, my darling, how are you?
Not Deb.
Great.
That night, was that thing called?
Oh, she meant to say company. Okay.
Hi, Ada, how are you?
Ma'am, I'm good.
All right, let's hope that grandma tells us something.
Do you want me to commence?
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, let me say this. If that woman were my daughter, I would beat the hell out of her. Who sent her? First of all, the question is, are you doing this for the family or for your selfish being? Because you want to be the wife
definitely
of a
selfish
rich man.
Now, to be honest, I have to say that the kind of education the children had, the kind of education the children can have on a 6 million naira a month budget and 120,000. You see, the problem is abroad.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. So listen, the first thing first, okay? It's completely a terrible behavior, okay, to go and sleep with another man because you think your husband is not ambitious enough. Okay? We need to make that clear. There's no dancing around it. There's no but. You need to say that, put a full stop. Take a day break and then we'll come back to a different show tomorrow and then talk about, hey, are you ambitious enough with respect to the society, or you're just okay with okay life? You're not open to always advancing yourself. That one too, you will collect. It may not be in the way of your wife, because that's terrible that your payback is your wife doing something crazy like sleeping with a boss. That's crazy, right? But you will collect if you're just lazy and contented with just regular life. Like you just said, what about investing in the life of your kids? You put yourself in a position. Are you thinking big, right? I think there's something to say to that. But there has to be another show. Ladies, there has to be another show entirely. Let's keep going. Amoya, I see you. Good to see you, Amoya.
I'm not speaking for the woman, but
yes.
Abroad, you guys have it easy.
No.
As long as you live in a nice area, your children will get to attend the nice school. It's not like that in Nigeria.
Yes.
I live in a nice area.
But
private school.
Let me see this.
Area I'm living.
That is free.
This is all part of systemic failure, by the way.
He has the education. She's had something going. It takes a little patience. It might not be then, but work with him. He will do his best, and you two will achieve this. But you selling your body to make him get that, and now you're regretting that he left you. Come on now. You know, one thing is sometimes greed sets in before the right ambition and what promise God has for you.
Mm-hmm.
You take baby steps. I
this is
understand
greed.
that you have kids, those kids will probably grow up attending the school they want them to attend by them working a little harder. Why not discuss this with your husband and go, look, honey, your 100,000.
Yeah, in Nigeria, it's easier said than done. I'm not going to give this woman an excuse for this terrible behavior, but in Nigeria, it's easier said than done. On 60K per month, yeah, I'm not sure what kind of education your kids are going to get. I'm just being honest with you. It's just that bad. This is partly... No. That woman's behavior is not to be blamed on systemic failure. That's character issue, okay? But in terms of, generally speaking, in terms of being contented with the idea of 60K per month, there's a lot to that, okay? We can't just... Yeah, if there were public schools, people would have options at least, right? And that's part of the problems that we're dealing with in Nigeria. And also, there's an increasing number of people that greed is as... There's a spike in the number of greedy people when you have a failed system, okay? You have to be quicker to blame systems, because if you're blaming the people, okay, you won't be able to solve, because people are people, okay? It doesn't justify that they should do the wrong thing. I'm just letting you know that if you're truly about solutions, you need to be more inclined to blaming the systems, okay? It's a character issue, but there's a failed system in place as well. There's more and more women, like the story we helped broke yesterday with who is the father, with all these guys that are potentially the father of this lady. So Mosh, right? Mosh, what's their name? Oladimeji Latif, Malaika, all these guys, right? What's their name again? Malaika, Oladimeji, MC Oluoma, all these guys. That's all part of system failure, because these guys won't have the options that they have today if there's a better system. That's just the honest truth. Does that exonerate you from terrible behavior? No, it doesn't. And I need to keep saying that, okay?
Something is not helping, or you're 200,000. Can we get a second job? Can we do this? Talk to him. First of all,
yeah, talk to him, fall on their face all the time, okay? Grandma. Talk to him, fall on his face all the time. You ever heard, we need to communicate, and you try to communicate, and then your brain is draining small right? You're about to lose your mind in the spirit of trying to communicate. He doesn't want to talk about it, because as a matter of fact, he's communicating. He's trying to tell you, like, I'm okay like this, I'm okay like this.
You didn't have respect for your husband. That was why you slept with that man to start with.
That's it.
Honest. So my question is this ambition for your family or for you? Because if it's for the family, you have to discuss this with your spouse, and at least you two decide on what to do. So that it frees. If you're struggling and you marry your wife, and now she thinks, oh, because I...
Auntie B is okay. It's not greed. It's savior behavior. Women always trying to be mothers to grown ass men. Okay. All right. I think two things can be true at the same time, Auntie B, don't you think? It can be greed. It can also be savior behavior. I need teloro. At the same time, two things can be true at the same time, right? What do you think? I have open floor. I see you open floor. Let me get through this a little bit. Hang out. Don't leave. All right.
One that is free to be a millionaire, and he's not, so that our kids will have the best. I'm going to sleep with another man. Come on. If everyone starts doing that in life, then you have...
It's a war zone. If everyone starts to do this...
break your heart, man. She said that when she was thinking about this, every person she talked to encouraged her to do it.
They're not... Will you keep quiet?
Everyone she talked to encouraged it. Yeah, you see what I mean by systemic failure. If an average person around you would encourage this behavior, not average, enough people encouraging this type of behavior, do you think in the Nigerian society there's enough women that will encourage this type of behavior? I'm asking. Let me ask Open Floor real quick. Open Floor, how are you? Can you hear me?
I'm good. Yes. How are you doing, Lola?
Very good. Do you think an
I have,
average, an average? Are you Nigerian, by the way? First of all,
yes, I am.
okay. What do you think about this wahala?
Um, I think it depends how you see it. And again, if they always said anything jauba, interpret that. I don't know how to interpret that in English. You understand what I
Basically,
mean?
you're saying if you're not in that position, you can't really judge.
Yes.
Okay.
So it depends on. So personally, it's not something that I would do, right? But the fact that she did what she did, in the comments, someone was saying she might actually did that out of just trying to rescue the situation. Okay. And the grammar, it might
I'm
be from
listening. I'm
just
listening.
no, it's okay. It might be from not just half Itelon. Okay. It can be either way. We don't know. She knows, right?
Okay.
But in a society like Nigeria, even if I'm a Nigerian and I had to do that, first of all, I'm not gonna tell anybody. Okay. It's just gonna be between me and God. And I'm just gonna hopefully, again, she get caught at the end of the day, right? But it's not. I'm not.
Are you
gonna
looking at my
discuss
face?
if I'm gonna.
Can you see my face?
I am. I am. No, you know what? Again.
Not be juju be that.
You just never know.
Continue.
Anything I've learned to believe that, like, if you've never been there, you just don't know what the situation looks like. Again, we don't know out of the options that she has to choose, make that choice. We don't know what kind of options that was available regardless, right?
Okay.
Let me tell you, there was an incident when I first came to this America that the wife brought husband from Nigeria, okay? When the husband got here, he was having trouble to find a job. So the ex-boyfriend of the wife that the husband has no knowledge of.
He didn't know.
Okay. Happened to be in this position where he can actually help the husband. And the wife told the husband, said, listen, I know you're having trouble, but this person can help you. Now, what she didn't say was he was an ex-boyfriend. She left that part out. Let me finish this story. So, fast forward about 5 or 7 years later, okay? This is not even like the husband got the job. He thrived from the job. He got promoted. Actually, it was a prison job, okay? But the boyfriend was the one at the top at the time that helped the husband to get in. And the husband ended up to thrive in that job, okay? So 5, 7 years later, when the marriage started to fall apart, okay, listen to this. When the marriage started to fall apart, somehow, somewhere, somebody blows into the husband's ear, like, look at you. So now this is...
He shot you.
Like, even the job where you did do
is the part where people think they can actually get away with this kind of stuff. Go ahead.
No,
go
seriously.
ahead.
So that was the load that break the camel's back, because again the marriage is already having trouble, not because of that situation, okay, but when the husband find out, like, what? So I've been working side by side with my wife's ex-boyfriend all these years. That was it for him, and they got divorced. He didn't leave the job. He went ahead and become God knows what in there. He's still in that job up to this moment I'm talking, as a matter of fact, because I know both of them. Okay.
It doesn't have to leave the job. It's not relevant.
So this is even here in America. This is here in America, right? So we are talking about Nigeria. Like you said, there's no excuse for such behavior. That's kind of a personal thing for her. Like, it's not good to do. But again, I do not know how she arrived at that space. If I have to do that, I'm going to have to do that for myself. And I wouldn't even do that to myself, as a matter of fact. I wouldn't want to go that route. Again, it's a personal decision. Yeah.
Okay.
But any way you look at it, any angle, and every opinion, everybody have entitled their opinion, and any way you look at it, it is coming from, because then you have to say it based on how you see it yourself. Will you do it or will you not do it? If you are the one,
Tina, right? Tina, right?
Yeah. So
I think we have more than enough information to call this out, don't you think? And say, no, this is terrible behavior.
It is terrible. I'm not in support of it at all.
Without feeling like we're judging her, because I agree with you. I don't like coming from an angle of judgment, right? But I think we have enough information to say, if you try this kind of stuff, 100% of time, you will collect. Right?
Absolutely.
Because whatever made you think you can get away with that one thing, you will continue to do it in other aspects of life. So you said earlier that
possibly
it's not related, right? Like what she did back then, they were getting in trouble for other reasons. Of course, they will keep getting in trouble for other reasons. If a person is not wise enough, I get it. It's not common sense. If you're not wise enough to say, if my ex is going to be around in our world, I need to let my partner know that this person, we had a full-blown relationship for a while before we met. Just let them know, because they might decide to want to go crazy and like it will really, really hurt your partner if they find out that you had an extended relationship with the person. That they've been before we even talk about they give them a job, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean that would be the right thing to do. Always that
is it right or the wise thing to do? Is it right or wise thing to do?
I think it's the right thing to do, to be transparent, even and let the husband make that choice on his own, whether or not he want to pursue that. Because at the end of the day, he's the one that's going to have to go in there and work with this guy every day. I mean, again, it's not something that I would do, but again, it's not like, I mean, constant quantity of worry. Let me put it that way. I mean, it happens every day. Even you will be so surprised. You will be so surprised how much of this entanglement of situation happen when it comes to how far one spouse will go for the other. Especially women will go for their spouse and thinking that they are doing them a favor, not knowing that they are doing it the wrong way.
Oh my days!
But women, sometimes it's like, no, listen. When one adult, this can happen in a situation. Okay, this can happen in a situation where one adult is trying to be responsible for another adult. Because at the end of the day, when you are two people in a relationship, these are two competent people, right? And if you believe enough in this person, you believe in him or her enough to marry him, you have to believe that he's competent enough to make his own way.
If you're going to marry that person, yes. Right. You're just going to have to exercise a higher level of trust that your capability may seem like I'm not able to trust. I need to help him. I need to push him. No, you're going to have to be intentional about trusting once you decide to marry a person. And if you're going to encourage them to do better, you have to engage a level of emotional intelligence with encouraging them, because you might start to sound and come off as like you're thinking less of them, especially a man. If you're teaching a man how to behave, eventually he's going to start to interpret it. He might not mean that, but he start to interpret it as disrespect. And then you wonder, disrespect, we need to increase our life. No. This is your lack of emotional intelligence. Because you need to focus on how he's interpreting what you're saying. Like, no, you need to do this. Did you not see Kunle did this the other day? Did you not? Once you start to compare, ladies, you don't even like to be compared either to another person. Nobody likes that. So it requires an extremely high level of wisdom. It's easier said than done. But if you start to practice this, it becomes easier with time. Don't just talk because it's just the right thing. That's why I asked you again. Say, is that the right thing or the wise thing? To me, if you know me here, I don't care about right and wrong. I think everyone is right.
You're right.
But it's not every right move that's the wise move to make. When you consider that there are two human beings involved, right? People can be doing the wrong thing and be feeling right at the same time. That's the reality of life. She probably was feeling right because. But do you think they did Kerewa only once with the boss?
I mean, I can't answer that. I
said, do you think?
I don't know.
I said, do you think?
Probably. I mean, they do it once. I like to think they probably doing more than one time.
Let me ask it this way: do you think the boss wanted to do it only once?
I mean, if he have his way forever, I think he's probably gonna do it. I mean, yeah,
exactly. So, but she was comfortable continuing to work with that person. There's a good chance that she's comfortable with something. Anyway, we don't know, like you said, right? We're just kind of speculating too, But thank you so much, Tina.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you for being a good sport too.
I'm just trying to play the devil advocate.
I know. But Jesus. Anyway, you want to hang out?
Yeah.
You want to hang out?
Thank you.
Okay.
Sure. Let's hang out.
Okay. All right. Let me keep playing it.
And what she also learned was that many of them have trained their bodies to move their husbands forward.
You see?
And the husband also told me that a lot of people told him to forgive her, that their wives had done similar things to help them.
But does that make it right? Okay. Let me ask. You are a mumu man. Friends, and they're all armed robbers. And they say, you know what? Come on, let's go be armed robber too, so that you can be rich. All of them will advise you. Tell me who you are, your friends, and I'll tell you who you are. Even family members. Some family members, they're just there for their own gain. They're not there for your betterment. People that were even advising her to do that, you even happy they're happy that she's married? Come on now. You see, there are some things that say no. When it comes to you doing something is contrary against your marriage, just to get from point A to point B, that is so wrong. That is so wrong.
That is wrong. But I need to understand that there are many marriages. Forget all the people hiding in the comments section, typing like they're warriors. There are many who have done it, maybe to get something for their kids or their husband or themselves in such a way that they call it family planning. That's what they call it. They call it family planning.
But
when you're politician,
the family values, yes.
They call it family planning. Yes.
Hold on. When your wife can get a contract, or when your wife sleeps with somebody to get a big account, that it is. Why do you think? Hold on. Let's have this honest conversation. Most unfaithful women in their marriages, according to several surveys, there's no survey that some have Nigeria is number 1, number 2, some are number 5. There's no survey I've seen regards to cheating in marriage where Nigeria is above 5th place globally.
Yeah, we talked about that on Paternity Fault yesterday.
Cheating in marriages. So I remember one time here when we're talking about all these movies. I cannot mention the kind of movies where they have intercourse in the movies, as in real intercourse.
It's porn. YouTube is not
so watch, and some guy with muscle rub oil on his body. Those kind of movies. There's a name for them. It starts with P. If you can figure it out, I'm not gonna mention.
Abba, the lie. Sabi lie.
Those kind of movies. So
it start with the P.
I was sitting down one day and having a conversation, and I mentioned the fact that I used to watch those movies, and I learned how to use computer by watching those movies because I wanted to. So I had to figure it out, And everybody was like, no, they don't watch it. And
lies.
Yeah, I think that was 2004 or 2005 or 2003, thereabouts. This came out. and said that industry in a year made more money than Premier League football,
Yes.
European football, football.
This spiritual country.
There is God, oh, there is God, oh, there is God, oh. There is God, oh. There is God.
But
Wait, in all in all of this spirituality, it's not working. Go work. Oh wow. Well, Jesus Christ. Anyway, what's your take on this open floor with this Nigeria as spiritual? Are you a spiritual person?
I'm a student of spirituality. I'm
Okay.
learning. You know what I mean?
Where's the disconnect? Where's the disconnect for Nigerians? Yeah? Nigeria is number 2 on paternity fraud in the world, second to Jamaica.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Did you know?
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. But our mindset is really it's big thing, as we deal with ourselves and how we deal with other people, how we see the situation sometimes. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it, but like how, that the phrase is very comfortable in a way that he what he's been doing and how he sees fit, I guess. But again, what is right is right, what is wrong is wrong. Our individual value. Okay, let's bring it down to individual value.
Right.
My core value it doesn't have to be the same with somebody else, right? But if we decided to be a couple, at least there should be some kind of core value that we both.
Yes, we have to align in some type of way.
Yes,
yeah,
align together. Yes, in some way. And again, it's like if we're talking like a country like Nigeria, it's always men have upper hand when it comes to this relationship than women.
Right.
Even in the foreign advanced countries, we still see that. But again, what is right is right, what is wrong is wrong. Just because everybody is doing it, it doesn't make it right. Just because nobody's doing it, it doesn't make it right.
Yes.
But I wouldn't want to be associated with anything like that. Like,
I think it's also safe to say.
Be in a relation with people.
I think it's also safe to say most people are not doing this. Okay, it's just that again, like I always say, empty barrel make the loudest noise. Also, when this type of news break out, they tend to spread. Also, because Nigeria is number 2 on the list, doesn't mean majority of people are committing paternity fraud. It's still minority, extreme minority.
Absolutely.
It's just when you gauge those countries, they happen to be number 2. It's kind of sad because you're also competing as a nation, but it doesn't. I don't want anybody to start running around town because a lot of men are doing that these days. Say, hey, this woman, you can't trust her. No, you will hurt yourself with that rhetoric. You will hurt yourself. You will attract what you fear the most. Most women are not out here committing paternity fraud. Just because Nigeria is number 2 on the list doesn't, or Nigeria is known for scam artists, and you come and ask me, so what do you do scam to? That you sound stupid. You sound retarded.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So let me keep playing this.
More revenue, than Hollywood that we all agree that we watch.
Yes, but that is freeze.
That we all watch. And but
I understand that
we all watch.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is we are all watching, it's just that we are not admitting.
That's true.
When it comes to this, I can't live with a cheating woman. I won't be able to take it. That marriage is over. But you see, I also have to be honest.
Yes.
In Nigeria, most of the women who are typing in this comment section have either done something like that or something close.
That's wrong though.
Yes, we are saying it's wrong, but can they also own up to their own? Is it because their own husbands have? It's easy for them to come out and point finger at this woman and say, but you have also done it before. Is it because your own cassette never began play?
Okay, they're judging.
Well, the thing is, this one has been cut. This one has been cut.
If you know,
if you got caught, you got caught.
Family planning. Let's talk about family planning.
Yeah.
What you have done to put your family on the map and sort yourselves out. I want to hear more stories today.
Yeah. Most people, but personally, to be honest with you, the thing is, there is a way a woman can uplift her man. Some of us will go, okay, look, I had to go back to school. I have to go get a career. I had to do something to make sure that I take my family from point A to B. And it's a long time planning. That's what most of us did. But I cannot fathom, and I do not support any burden. If you're not married, you're a woman, you're a man, you want to do anything, that's fine. But when you are married, at least if she has consulted the man, and both of them say, hey, let's do this and take, then if he wants to leave her, I'll go, oh no, man, you're wicked. But in this case, my key thing is, whose ambition was she fighting for? Hers or his?
Hers.
He has the education. He has everything. If he wasn't that particular job, one day God will help him and lift him because he already has it. It's just a question, a matter of time. But she was very impatient. She was impatient. And she had all this.
The mama is making sense. Mama is making sense. Mama is making sense. Daddy Freeze is what we was just talking about. Is referencing the people that were commenting on that show, and I guess a lot of them were quote unquote coming off as judgmental. I think there's some extremes that it's not a matter of judging. If you got caught with this type of behavior, you're not being judged.
You did it, yeah.
Like you're not being judged. You did it, and you got caught. You didn't have the grace to not get caught, like many people that would do it. You got caught. You're not being judged. Okay, and Ojo Bobontole, right?
But can I ask you something? So
Sure.
let's flip the story.
Yeah.
If this was the other way around, like I feel like the woman would be more forgiving. And again, I'm not saying that it's not. I won't do it, but
you feel like the woman would have been more forgiving, right?
More forgiving of him. If he was the one that stayed with somebody so that she can get a job,
right?
Right?
You know why?
I mean, what do you think about that?
You know why? Because if I put 1,000 women in a room, right? And I say, and 1,000 women who are 65 and above, right? They have sons, right? And I point, this is why, okay? And I point at the story of this lady. All those women will be like, or let me flip it, right? Let's say, I said, this is what happened to her in her previous marriage. Your son wants to marry her. Do you want your son to marry her? What would all those women say? Right?
Yeah, they would say no. Yeah.
So it's not just men that are saying that. It's the society at large that created that standard.
Absolutely.
So it's not like you're wrong, you're right. But the society at large, including women, agree that this is the standard. As a woman, you can't move like that. And you can't keep saying, what if a man do it? No, you can't say that. Don't tell yourself that. It's two different, there's double standards on both sides. And double standard is not necessarily a bad thing. You feel what I'm saying? So, but you're right. It's just what it is. There are certain things that men can get away with too, just because they are a man in society, especially when it comes to when it comes to romantic relationships, right? A man can't, like, for example, by the way, no, you can't settle for, oh, I'm okay with being me. No, as a man, society will judge you if you're not able to take care of your family. It's just what it is, you know?
Yeah.
You can act like, but if a woman is not able to take care of the family, it's like, she's a woman. Like, what are you doing, man? You're not going to take care of your family. Right. She needs to go and find a job. So you sound stupid. The rest of society will tell you sound stupid. If she wants to work, or let's say, for example, she said, well, I would like to stay home. Most women don't do that these days. I like to stay home and take care of my babies under 5. And you're the one argue like you must go to work. He will look retarded, you know, to the rest of the society. Like, who does that, right? Arrange something for your wife to be able to work at the pace you want to work, right? So there's double standard, and it's just reality, you know. And And when it comes to relationships, it's wiser to focus on what is, right? Even if you're going to change what is in terms of social standards, right? Hold on 1 second, I beg. Right. Even when it comes to social standards, if you want to change it, you have to acknowledge that it is a certain way first, without trying to shame wherever the opposite gender or whoever is benefiting from whatever this particular thing we're talking about is, right? But we should, well, if you want to change it, you still have to acknowledge that it is a certain way. It is a certain way, but this is why we need to move in this direction. Let's say people say 50-50 is what we want in the household, right? 50-50, why?
Right.
Okay, well, we're going to organize ourselves. It's going to take generations to get into that space because there's no such thing as 50-50 in relationships. Sometimes you're going to give more, sometimes the other person will give more, right? So, but if you are so gung-ho on it must be that way, well, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to do it if you're caught up in your emotions at that level, you know? Let's keep going.
So at what point? So, no, I was going to ask, like, you know, like I was saying that in a situation where one adult is being responsible, trying to be responsible for another adult and not trusting the adult enough to know that, okay, I'm going to do my part. I expect you to do your part and leave it at that. And I think this kind of situation is going to come up in different form. It might not be like sleeping with somebody, but like at different levels.
Yes.
Right.
Where you feel like you're giving, right?
Say something.
Where you feel like you're giving, and the other person is not just stepping up, right? Is that what you're saying?
Responding. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here's what I always advise people, right? I always tell people to stay away from the rhetorics of give and take and focus on giving. And people always ask me, at what point do you stop giving if the other person is not giving back? You don't have to wait that far. At the point that you are not giving to yourself enough that is self-sustainable by itself, you should stop. Don't even try to give to anyone. If you're not giving enough to yourself, where you are content in what you're giving to yourself, you're happy where you are as a person, right? And you're expecting the person to give to you. If you already start to feel that way, wherever that point is, where you start to feel like you're giving too much, stop giving and start giving to yourself. Right? But the idea of give and take set people up for unrealistic expectations because it's a function of how you think, right? Because you're saying take, but the other person is obviously not capable of giving what you're asking for. But more importantly, you're clearly not able to give this thing to yourself as a person, right? I would rather you refocus back on yourself and give to yourself. So in this case, if she was that ambitious as she wants to, she needs to go back to school and do what she got to do. If the guy keeps saying you can't go back to school, you need to stay home, then you're not aligning in something very, very important in your ambition levels, right? It's easier said than done. You might just want to excuse yourself from the relationship and say, this is not the lifestyle I want. Trust me, the world will not judge you for that. Maybe some traditional people in Nigeria will judge you for leaving your family, I guess. But it won't be at the level of you slept with another man to help him with promotion. That's a no, right? So don't wait until you do something so catastrophic before you give to yourself. Give to yourself. And then when you give to yourself, your partner tends to mimic the level you're giving to yourself. It's not guaranteed, right? Yeah. And they don't have. It's not guaranteed. They don't have a choice but to basically mimic the way you take care of yourself, right? And if they're just lazy and stuff like that, at some point something will break. You guys won't be able to align. But it's better that to now go out and just and say, no, let me after all. So a lot of people are doing that in Nigeria. Like, please. If Peter Obi, where's Omoye? If Peter Obi wins, this thing will follow you into that new era when Nigeria becomes a Dubai. And then you'll be like, what happened 25 years ago? I heard these stories on the internet because it never leaves the internet, right? And you did this, you did that. Story will never leave. It follows you everywhere. But yeah, let's continue the video.
Whose interest was she looking out for? Let's be realistic. The man said, "No, my interest."
But family interest.
Thank you, Patricia.
Family.
Can I say
No.
It takes two.
Ada,
Go ahead.
okay, you are sounding this way because you are abroad. Over here in Nigeria, yeah, we may do things.
Okay, hold on. Do you know how hard things are in Nigeria?
Yes.
Under the of
What is she talking?
From Blue, Bulaba.
What is he talking about?
And women appearing as a provider, even though most women are doing it. So, even though she had her own interest, being comfortable in her marriage, trust me, she was doing it solely for the family and the man as the head, for the husband to have the job. She did it for the man.
That is still wrong, though. So you mean it's condoned in Nigeria, Dr. Freeze? This is it's not condoned.
It's not condoned.
Yeah.
But you need to understand the Nigerian socio-economic climate.
Yes.
You see, abroad, the government provides things for you.
No, they don't.
No.
Yes, but no, they don't.
Nigeria, where you have to dig your own well to provide water,
Mm-hmm.
where you have to buy your own generator to provide electricity that you people get for free abroad.
Yeah.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Will you keep quiet?
You don't have to buy a generator. The electricity is there, just pay for it.
No, but you pay your bills, though. You pay your monthly bills for it to be on.
Yeah, people pay their bill and they have never seen light.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, that's,
If you want quality education, not the one that you will go to school and carry your desk from home.
But that if you
free in school in Nigeria that have to carry their desk on their head.
I understand all that.
So you see, in as much as we want to judge, and it's okay, yes, let's
Judge.
adultery.
Judge is not relevant.
Yeah, you understand? Let's condemn adultery for what it is. But you see, according to Islam, if you are caught stealing bread, you know, the penalty for stealing in Islam is they will him. But if you can show that you were hungry and that was what made you make the decision, if you are a freeborn, they'll let you go. If you are a slave, they'll punish your master. Because why did you starve your slave to the point where you had to steal to eat? So you see, on the other hand, in Christianity, we tend to have a lot of blankets. I live in Nigeria. I thank God that I earn the way I earn. If not, my family would have been put under a lot of pressure to make certain decisions. You don't understand the Nigerian climate. Your kid, ordinary Unilag, do you know how expensive it is?
Yes.
If you're earning 120k a month as a parent, your children cannot go to Unilag.
But you can find other jobs, though. What the thing is missing.
Are you not going to provide a job?
She's sacrificing her body, and now
difficult in Nigeria.
Not,
Nigeria's system does not even support multiple sources of income. You have a job, they tell you it's conflict of interest.
I understand that, but why would she be the one sacrificing her body? You see, that's my own thing, though.
We're not justifying what she did. That was a mistake.
That's precisely what you're doing, but
men have to sleep with other men, even though they are straight, just so that they get promoted. Oh, Jesus! Many of you people are attached from the Nigerian reality.
True. There is a radio station that I would have been working for before Nigeria Info. The head of programs wanted to sleep with me, and I said no. I went back to Delta, and I worked in Delta for 1 more year before Nigeria Info came.
Now, let me ask you a question, Ada. Imagine you were married.
Yeah.
And you have 2 heads.
And your husband is also struggling. You will have just thought, you know how many girls just think about it that, you know what? It is not this same knack that my husband knacks me every night and stresses me and does not give me. Am I not going to do this? So people zero their mind. I'm not saying it's right, but Nigeria.
Jesus is Lord.
It's scary.
this is getting crazy. And,
Yeah,
and my wife is telling me
this
that I haven't
turning to
seen anything
something.
yet. It's turning to something else,
Oh,
right?
really?
She's telling me there's more to it. That there's more to it. I should keep playing it. But hey, mitigating circumstances, mindset is everything. I agree. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with what Daddy Freeze and what this young lady in the darkness is saying. But it's not relevant. I guess we can make it relevant just for the sake of the conversation. In reality, it's not relevant, though. This guy, you can't manipulate him to stay with this woman. Because part of the story is that people are saying you should forgive, and you can't manipulate people into forgiveness. It doesn't work unless you want somebody that will resent you in that marriage.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna end up happening, because even if he decided to stay, there's gonna be a whole lot of resentment. And so the opposite of that for a woman is, it's almost like when you find out that your spouse has been cheating on you, like and then even for most women that decided to stay after you find out, the resentment set in. At the end of the day, it's like you must as well just walk away, because it will never be healthy as before. You will never be the same woman again. Like your old self already died because of that mistrust, because now you look at him differently. I'm sure he will be looking at her differently. And again, on a moral ground. I mean, like
it might be the type of guy that's just disgusted. You can't see her the same way ever again.
I mean, even women too, we don't see it when men go out, and it's the same thing. I mean, you can't look at them the same way anymore. The trust is gone anyway. But on a moral ground, what Daddy Freeze was saying is that, you have to do what you have to do. That depends on individual. Like, what is your core value? Because if you have a core value, that doesn't change regardless how your situation changes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you can be suffer, like, not just eat once a day, whatever the case. Your moral value, your core value, always gonna hold you up. That is what make you not to regardless of the economy or whatever the case may be.
The character, right? I'm not a big proponent of pushing character down people's throat as a talking point. But there's some lines. There's some lines you cross that, like, now I have to look over my shoulder every time you're stepping out of the door.
Exactly.
Like, what kind of life is that, right?
Yeah.
Sunshine says, as Chris Rock once said, when men cheat, they look for something new. But when your wife finds out, she becomes something new. And it's
what?
And it's the bad news.
Yeah, it's the bad news.
Yeah.
That part is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
More decisions like these in the coming years.
Now that's where they get it wrong. I think they should just have the narrative I have. So what I think of when I have sex advances is the fact that I know I would constantly have to sleep with you to keep the job, because I got the job with my body. So
no, that wasn't the story.
If I cannot deal with the mentality that forever I have to pay for this job, I just let it go.
Oh, okay.
That's
She's talking about
scary,
herself.
though. If that's the state of things in Nigeria, then that's very scary. Where people have to so there's nothing. If you have to undermine just to sleep with someone to get it's crazy.
The truth is that it's happening.
But that is how far we have sunken in, and we must talk about the reality of Nigeria. We cannot run away from our reality. We are number one when it comes to women cheating on their husbands. So why are we forming holy all of a sudden? The statistics are not holy with us.
So okay. The thing is, if it's okay, if that's this norm, then they might as well just forgive and move on. So why is the man angry?
Yes, it is wrong, but we cannot say she's a body for nothing.
No.
Let me push forward a little bit.
In the That is why you think that Will Smith's career literally died.
Norm, it's scary though. It's really scary. Because if this is what happens in Nigeria and everybody's cool with it, then we have a problem.
They're not cool with it.
Listen, yeah. I always say this. If you live in a society where the God provides for you, you can never understand a society. I've sat down with people who told me their stories. I'm starting a series called Daddy Freeze on the Street. And I sat down with people who told me that the kind of things they have to do to get by. Some people are
desperate.
Other people. Some people will look away. And let me also tell you something that you guys need to know. If you're famous, you can't understand what a famous person goes through. If you're not beautiful, you can't understand what a beautiful person goes through. An average girl will say, me, I will not. Baba, when your whole life is hanging in front of you because you refuse to sleep with one lecturer, you will die. And because you are going to that same school, yes, you don't get, but you don't get. Nobody even want to find boyfriend set for you hard. Come be say lecturer go on leave.
Let's see if Daddy Freeze will convince us today that it is not this woman's fault, Rabbi.
I mean, so here's the thing. There was one time, I have like 2 years ago, my 9-year-old posted something on her door, and she said something like, rules and for everybody. That's what she said.
Say that again.
She said rules is not for everybody. Like, not you know what I mean? And I said, well, yeah, rules aren't for everybody, but consequences are, because
yes.
Yeah. So I went ahead and I put that on that page because yes, I put at the bottom and I said consequences are. And here's the thing.
Good one.
Everybody, we're all free to choose or make a choice for ourselves how we see it fit.
Well, we can do you.
Yes, do you, like I said. What you are not, what you are not, will not be able to do is to choose the consequences that's gonna come after that, and that is where your moral value and your core value guide you, because for the person who have those things, you think about it. They say think before you do, because consequences is not gonna be your choice. You get what you get, and then you will not be able to run away with it. The woman choose to do what she did. Whatever consequences, even though she might not in a million years see these consequences, she's getting it right now. And that's right just the way it is.
She has to lie in the bed. She laid the bed, she has to lie in it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Yep.
The fine wife can't sleep with you. You've got to understand that, you see, when we're judging people, we've got to walk in their shoes first before we judge them.
Wow, that is scary though.
No. I'm judging this one. I'm judging this one.
Your network is accepting you. I've sent you requests. I think you need to get the latest Instagram.
Like, maybe they need to upgrade. No,
you are ready to gamble it for a night of love making. You could not eat a woman that
doesn't make it all okay though.
So it doesn't make it okay. But when we are judging, let us understand that you have never been tempted before.
Is it 1981? Let me say this, Dr. Daddy Freeze. You know, most people that are putting this here, let me say this. I came to America young. I worked as a wait. I worked as what do you call it? Bedpan nurse. I really suffered and put myself through law school. So this would I say privilege. No,
it's not the same experience though,
temptations are along the way. But you have to learn to say no to some things. It's going to take you.
Now, the truth is that there are temptations everywhere in the world. They come in different forms, granted. They look different, granted. There are criminals here in the United States that are being put away every day because of greed, granted. They all can tender one excuse or the other, you know. They can say, hey, it's because of slavery history. Hey, it's because of this and all this kind of stuff. They have their own too. Different excuses that they can give. It's because there's no fathers in the homes, right? They have their own too that they can listen. Every society you go to, there's somebody thriving, there's somebody now. The only difference is that some middle classes are larger than others, right? But there's some behavior that's crossing the line, even according to most people's standard. Whatever will make everybody say, She slept with her boss. An average person, even the person committing it right now, they will open their mouth now. So why are we dancing around like this is just bad, right? Granted, there's people are desperate in Nigeria. That's very, very true. That's true.
It is true.
Yeah, people are desperate, and sometimes I say that here all the time. People will do all the wrong things when they don't feel right. You are right.
Oh, you're right.
But there's a big old but.
I worked in a government setting before I moved to US, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember as a young, I was still in college while I was working at the same time. I was about maybe 20, 21.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny story about when you are so young and I work in a tax office with the government, right? It's full of men, big men, married men. They were really, they are like a hawk. When they see young people, young girl,
they're all over you.
Want to touch you. Like they are waiting for you. Not only that they are waiting for you, they will threaten your life if you don't go with.
Threaten your future.
Yes. The only safe grace that I had that time is, first of all, I believe in myself so much. Thank goodness for my parents that me sleeping with any one of them is not going to make my future any brighter or less brighter. Everything is going to have to be from my own hard work. You know what ended up happening to me because I refused to go along with whatever they want from me? They have to demote me completely I went from level 8 to back to level 4. Okay. That was what I had to do and I would rather do that. And at that time, I didn't care because at the end of the day, I would rather be in that than to be on that level 8. Again, I understand what they are saying, like Nigeria is a very tough place.
It's tough.
But again, will not change your moral. That should not change your value. That should not.
Or maybe we should change it to hopefully it won't change your morals.
Hopefully, listen. They demoted me, so my money too. You know what I mean? Like it takes a lot of God for a 20-year-old to say, you know what, I would rather take $2 than to take $8, whatever.
Right. That's tougher because you don't have a husband. You don't have. You can. No. You don't have to ever talk about it. Yeah.
Yes. Pay my way up because after my ND, my parents said they couldn't help me any further. So that's why I went to join the job so that I can take my through HND, and that's what I was doing. So it was unfair. It was unfortunate. But if I have to do it all, I was so proud of myself, even me as an adult now, because then. It's like everybody will be gladly happy to sleep with them, whatever. Nobody cares. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how am I going to be sleeping to my father's age? Like, really disgusting. No.
Right.
Right. But I understand what they're saying.
Yep. I see what they're saying too. I guess we can listen longer and then maybe gain a little empathy without trying to exonerate this bad behavior, right?
We try.
Gambling a night of love making. You could not hit a woman that doesn't make it all okay though. So it doesn't make.
You tell tomorrow, man.
Under the bridge.
Let me see what this auntie will say.
Now look at what is costing her. At the end of the day, she doesn't have the marriage. She doesn't. So who did she do this for? No, that's all I'm saying. But if that's the norm in Nigeria, the woman might to say that is wrong. So go ahead, hon. I'll let somebody else,
if I
something.
I would say, don't judge a person until you have walked in the person's shoes, worn the shoes, and walked a mile. As much as we all have our different moral barometers and what we can do and what we cannot do. Most times we would not know what we can do until we have found ourselves in those shoes.
It's true.
That being said, all I would say is to each their own. They would have decided. I always talk about goalposts. They would have decided as a couple. She would have made up her mind to talk, either to tell her husband about it, what to do or what not to do. They decided about it. But everything has a consequence.
The first consequence here was the husband got the job. They had a better standard of living. The next consequence is the husband found out and he's leaving her. So she has to bear the consequences. Anymore because of what happened. She's going to learn to move ahead. It's happened. I mean, the milk has been spilled. The water has gone under the bridge. If the man is at the point where he cannot.
Until freeze.
What happened?
All right, while we're waiting for her, guys, go to Facebook, Daddy Freeze,
Your partner's mind has left. He's no longer there with her. They're no longer on the same level. They don't operate on the same wavelength anymore because he found out that he did what she did. So be it as it may, it has happened. She should learn how to count her losses and move on. It has happened. There's nothing else she can do about it except if the man is going to change his mind. But if he's falling out of love with her, he's no longer happy, he cannot see her as his wife anymore, and he does not want to continue the relationship, it means the integrity of the relationship has been compromised. The very fabric of the relationship has been destroyed by this act. Even if he discovered years after, it's happened. She should go, count her losses, mend her heart, and move on, learn her lesson. If there is any lesson she has to learn from it, it's happened.
And don't do this for another man. That's the lesson there. Do not.
Well, maybe discuss it with the man. Be sure that is what you guys
discuss it with the man. What is that she's talking about?
The person she's doing it for and the family she's doing it for.
Yes,
that's how I see it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good, but I mean, they should have agreed on what is to be done and when to do it.
Well,
discuss it with the man.
Go and Cheesy, go and upgrade your internet. Get your latest Facebook. It's hard to bring you on like this.
It looks like women we have more sympathy for this lady
on this matter, but it's impossible to bring you on. Now, a lot of people are saying abroad people making comments on this particular issue are from a privileged standpoint. I'm sorry, all abroad people, don't be angry, but you are privileged. The reality of Nigeria has not set in for you before.
The reality of Nigeria means people should just be misbehaving all over the place.
You will.
See, when they are saying that, they should also add that the reality of Nigeria says that a lot of people will be collecting. Listen, just because you're in Nigeria doesn't mean the consequences of this type of behavior won't come at you. As a matter of fact, to come at you maybe multiple folds over. What do you think?
So, talking about consequences, right? One thing that we Nigerians, including myself, that we are not really talk about enough and we are not conversant of is the consequences of our behaviors. You go from the leader down to the followers. Like when we are doing things, we just do it. We feel like it's normal. And then when the consequences come knocking, we're like, so we need to normalize, like if you choose a behavior, understand that there's a consequence that's going to come with that. That we need to say it as loud as we can and for people to put it in their head, like, do what you want to do. But instead of
doing Ojulon Rojusha, no. You don't know. You can't really judge.
I mean, all of that is okay, but it's not going to stop consequences to do what it's going to do.
Exactly.
You understand what I mean? You can pity, we can not judge, we can understand, we can agree, but the consequence is going to do what the consequence is going to do. And the faster you get that, you understand that, the better off you will be, because then you'll be able to deal with your situation and see it for what it is. Like, okay, this is the work of my hand, and this is the consequences I have to. Just like it's like good when you do a good behavior, you expect something when you do a good behavior. So you should know that there's consequence that's going to come with bad behavior at the same time. It goes. You cannot say I'm doing good and I want the good back to me. If you do bad, what do you think is going to happen? I mean,
Right.
I'm just using that as an example, really.
Yeah, it's like suggesting that it's because of Nigeria. Please, let's find a way to eliminate all these consequences. No, that's not me saying that.
We
No,
can.
reality says no.
Yeah.
Right? As a matter of fact, you will judge yourself the most. Yeah, I can see that my books are facing
And you know,
backwards.
the best person to judge a character, the best person to judge you is you. Because if you are self-aware enough to be able to do that, every public judgment is not gonna do anything worse than you're already doing to yourself, because you know this is expected. I mean, it's a reaction of what you did. So again, we when you say you're an adult, there's an adult behavior and an adult consequence that always come with it. So as an adult, if you cannot self-reflect enough to know, because that would be the only way that will help you to know, okay, this thing I'm about to do, okay, let me go through it, let me digest it, let me see if I want to participate in this or not. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Let's keep going.
You still have to sleep with someone to feed. It's that bad. The Bible talks of a period when women had to eat their own children. Remember the situation where they ate their own child and then it was time to eat the other person's child, the other person carried. It was a biblical reality of famine. If you've not been in,
that's true. That's the systemic failure part of things.
You would not understand what the reality of war is. Some people say, yeah, because she was not educated. Oh, do you know the reality of some lives? I've had girls come to work in my house as maids for 1 year so they can save 350,000 naira, which is the equivalent of $500. I remember
Daddy Freeze, we work hard here. We work very hard.
And this say we work hard. It's now the competition of who works the hardest.
A live-in maid. She just said, you know what? Every month I need you to put this aside for me in my I want to be saving this, and then give me this amount so that I can live on this. At the end of the year, by the time I calculated it, what she was going to go home with was 350K, which is less than $500. Let me just round it off to $500. $500 for a year's work. You get 1 weekend a month as holiday. You work the rest, Friday to Sunday. It's a tough reality. I do not support sin. I would
okay. We heard.
Die now. The wife has family problem. How? Just like the story of a girl who called me and said she earns $1,000 a month and her mother earns $16,000 a month because her mother is on the board of the nurses in the hospital. I forgot what she said. And she was an upcoming nurse and she was making after tax $4,000 a month, and her mom was making about $16,000 a month after tax. And her mom still insists that she must give her money. I say, your mother is a witch. So someone like that cannot understand what it means like for you to have a mother who, if you don't send her that check every month, she's going to starve. Because the reality of Nigeria is different. All my uncles and aunties are brought.
Okay, it is true. Most people will not understand what the reality of people on the other side. It is very, very true. Most people won't. Okay, but this is extended effort to try to justify something that clearly even women will frown at and say, this one is too much. You know, that's what's going on here. This is too much effort. Let me see what this auntie is saying.
What?
Yeah, there are people, for example, okay, let's say example is tax season. People are filing taxes, they're running their children, most of them are getting money back. We don't have such privilege back home.
No.
What?
Listen, some of pay tax, yes, and they do not give us back. You pay more to the government.
What is she talking about?
Up by the lie.
You get some child.
Yeah, what is she talking about? Can you help me? What does this have to do with taxes and filing tax
what? I
returns?
think Grandma is going on a la la land at this point. Because no, I think she's trying to explain the privilege.
The young lady down there
the tax return is not a privilege. The tax is even if you get a return, that is your money that
exactly. That's taxes you overpaid.
It's not like they gave it to yes.
That's why it's called returns.
Exactly. Oh my God, Grandma is going too far.
Or refund. That's why it's called tax refund. They're refunding your money, your own money. Hey, let's keep going.
Credit back. You get something for child credit.
No, it's only. You see, that's the thing. You guys get the wrong. If I'm a lawyer here and I've been here for a long time, you get child credit if you have.
Me too.
If you earn a certain amount.
Yes.
It's not everyone that gets child credit.
It's not everyone that gets that.
What qualifies?
Yes.
No, I'm comparing that to where we're coming from.
And it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
What qualifies for child pay?
Okay, if you earn such an amount,
a certain amount and number of children,
you don't have enough money.
Yep.
That you have to work, and then they give you child credit to compensate you, at least for you.
Because you are creating citizens.
That's if you're below a certain amount of income bracket, then they'll say, okay, at least you'll be able to feed your family.
Income
at least
At least there's compensation for people who don't have enough.
Hold on.
But it's at least $200,000. At least max $200,000.
No, not true. Where'd you get these things from? No. If you no. Even in California that I said 200,000 is.
Oh my days!
If you have kids, you do. Kids that are less than 17, you do.
All right. The honest truth is that these other young ladies down here don't know as much as the grandma up there. And it's obvious. And again, try to compare. It's the same thing that I said earlier about comparing your spouse to another person. It's just always an unfair comparison. It doesn't work. It will hurt you. Don't do that. Don't compare your wife to other people's wives. Don't compare your husband to other people's husbands. Learn your person. That's your person, right? The truth is that comparing United States to Nigeria will become a competition that you're watching on this scene, on the screen right now, right? And nobody's getting anywhere because it's a useless argument at the end of the day. The truth is that everywhere you go in this world, people have their own struggles. The average person has a very tight struggle that they can look at as an excuse to do the wrong thing. Right? I said something here yesterday. Somebody said somebody married wrong when I was playing a premiere yesterday. I said we all married wrong, and we all have moments where we can say we married wrong. Some people just happen to have the grace to come out on the other side of that, as to still be with that same person, but not the same marriage. You can't. Once a marriage crashes on its face, right, and you go through crisis, you're gonna have to build a new foundation from scratch, with or without the same person you're married to. That's the only way. That's why it's a terrible idea to shame divorcees, because you've gone through yours. You just happen to have grace to be with the same person. That's all it is. There is no such thing as mine is more struggle than yours and stuff like. Obviously, when we're measuring GDPs across the board, the one country is doing better than the other. We get that, right? But that you're just going to give that your excuse to become the bottom of that society. No, it's terrible.
There's always marriage reconstruction that always happens at one point in the life of the marriage itself. If you don't do that, then what are you doing? And people don't understand that. Like you cannot, like you said, don't even compare. When you're talking about tax, you have, United States to Nigeria, you have to talk about standard of living at the same time. I don't know how it is in Canada, but in US, there's the income bracket. Not everybody fall into that bracket. For those that are able to get the child credit, the income is just a little bit above the poverty line. You can't live lavishly either. It's like you.
There's no free money anywhere, right? There's no free money anywhere.
No.
And that's the picture that these people are trying to paint, including Daddy Freeze. There's no free money anywhere. When you are in Yankee, the society pressures you to have a car that you're paying monthly mortgages and monthly notes on, and monthly mortgages, houses that you don't own. For the average person, they will never finish paying it. Before they finish the first 5 years, they will offer them another flash to come and refinance. It's a cycle. They never get out of the poverty. A lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, regardless of how much money they make. But that part is hard for you to understand. So I get it. Maybe it's hard for us to understand that people should just go around and sleep with other people's husband to elevate their husband. But these are the issues.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't. This is too much.
It's too much. And then you have these two people below. They live in the Obodo, so they're trying to claim, but we're here too. No, but clearly Iya is a lawyer and she understands the concepts of what makes it what it is more.
Yeah.
Because you're already sounding like tax refunds is free money. What?
So it's like in the information being fed to them, nobody digests it. They just take it face value and they believe it, and that they run with it. Can you blame them? But talk to people that are actually living the life of having to pay that tax, having to work to even for the IRS to even take that money off of your head. And another thing that they don't understand is, so they take from other people to give to the people who are really, 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 really struggling, or they think that they are, it's just a lot that goes into it. There's no room to even explain that, really.
Exactly. It's a social system. Granted, the social system is better. But overall, quality of life is not necessarily better when you live overseas. It's not necessarily true that quality of life is better when you live overseas. Overall, on an individual basis, it's not necessarily true. Overall, we can say, yes, generalizing, obviously an average person is better off being a quality of life wise, right? But when you bring it down to individual level, some people may be better off being in Nigeria than being here. Because of all these reasons, there's all these different things that a developed society put in place to keep you in that same cycle. Most people would die without leaving any kind of legacy for their children. Like nothing, right? So everybody has their own struggles. So it's always going to keep sounding terrible to compare this in efforts to justify a clearly bad behavior. Because what's next? We're going to say paternity fraud, mush. It was because that girl was desperate. It was poverty. No far, like really, huh?
120,000, you get child credit because she's considered medium income.
Yeah, but how many people earn more than 120,000? How many people are in that bracket? So almost everybody. The average person is less than those 6 figures.
But the bottom line is that whether you earn
Bottom line.
or you don't earn higher, at least there's a compensation for those.
At least it's a terrible talking point. Anything that starts with at least in this effort is a terrible idea. Adebusola Lizzie says, I have an unpopular opinion. Maybe the woman should sleep with the boss again to get the hobby fire.
You're right.
I think you're right.
You think they're wise?
I think.
Oh my God! If you're not gonna marry me again, you must as well. But they said the husband moved to something.
He moved on. She can go and sleep with him and get him fired. Sure, absolutely. I subscribe to. I'm with you, Adebusola. I'm with you on that.
There is a provision. There's a provision
for them. We don't have that back home. So that's just the point I was trying to make when I mentioned that.
You're making here in stays a help when you are poor. Listen,
there's a social system. That's what that means.
And pay your
to cushion it.
Yes. So, and you're still considered low income, and you live in.
So let me ask you a question. Open floor. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
This chick that went to sleep with her boss so she can quote unquote elevate the husband. This chick, do you think she's the type of chick that will want welfare here if she was living in the overseas, in the abroad?
You know what? That's a good question. That's a very good question.
Since they want to bring in social system.
The funny thing is, she sleep with her boss. Right. Like she sleep for her husband, not even for herself. That's the saddest part of it. It's not even for herself; it's for her husband.
That's what she's claiming. That's why I played Stop the Cap.
Like that, right? I mean, for someone like that, if they find themselves in our system over here, I really can't say. I won't know what to say about that person, because again, the American design are socio-economic ladder, the way they see to help the people who are on the lowest end of it, just to make sure that everybody is playing on an equal field, possibly. But I won't be surprised for someone like her to want to keep herself in that, if you know that it's benefiting to get free money.
You think this person will be okay with $3,000 a month if they live here in this living standard here, Canada or US or UK? You think this person will be okay with $3,000 free money per month, or they will want a Range Rover? Let's be honest.
You know what? Talking about mindset, so her mindset might not want to agree with that, because she always want more.
She want more,
right? She want more. She will always want to want
Remember
more.
ambition, right?
Yeah, the mindset and the value, the core value, all of those things. She kind throw all of those out of the window, really.
Yeah, she wants more. Yeah. This was about ambition. That was a big part of the story. The husband was not ambitious enough. She's not coming here to settle for social system checks. That's not aligning.
People can see where you live. That's okay. But in Nigeria, you don't have that system. Exactly. Yes, I know.
That cushion isn't there. That cushion is missing.
Cushion call.
I understand.
That's the
people. UK, you get monthly. Canada, you get monthly. So we don't have it
for the kids, for your children. Yes,
that's right. We don't compare Nigeria to America, though, when it comes to things like that. However, what I'm saying is
terrible comparisons.
Because I know family members that we support in Nigeria from here. We know how hard it is. What I'm saying now, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Nigeria is not hard. I'm just saying this woman
out credit when I made 240K.
That's all, guys. So why would you sacrifice yourself for a man or a family, and the person doesn't appreciate they are leaving you? Is it worth it?
But I get asked that question. How about someone asked me that question? Sorry, I think I came in the middle of the day.
Yes. That the freeze ask her. Ask her.
Oh yeah.
That freeze asked me the question now. I think I came in late. So what's going on?
God bless you. Apparently some lady, is a long story, so I hate it as much as possible.
Wait, she didn't hear the story.
Was earning 120K a month.
Let me fast that forward. I'm not about to.
Her phone or something.
He's just repeating the story.
I'm saying, because such a thing, if you start it, how long do you intend to do it? You will always want to do it. The person will always ask for more.
I think this case was a one-off offer.
No, it's not terrible. If you are good, the person will keep wanting more.
What happened?
She said it's a one-off.
Like a weekend or a week.
Whether it's one-off or twice, I mean, it's just not.
How does that matter, tacky. Right?
It's tacky. She did it. That's it.
How? Why is that irrelevant? One-off or twice off or? Oh Lord, let's keep going.
So that husband was office work. Do you understand? The cover letter was the guy was on their big.
Thank you, Samari. I thought I was the only one. I'm not gonna do it.
Spent a week in a resort with the guy, all expense paid. All she had was calling.
If I were the one, I wouldn't do it, and I'll tell you reasons why I wouldn't do it. Because there's nothing that is hidden that won't be revealed someday.
Because you're in the abroad.
If he enjoyed it and we enjoyed ourselves, he would always ask for more. And any day I say
it's a contract. No, you see, listen. The problem with was they get
unless the person knows sweet now. Unless the person knows sweet.
No.
That's number two.
They no longer have that.
Don't you to have help anyone.
Is,
work with your partner.
Why would you know that even for me, I've learned even as a woman, for me to do, let's say for example, I'm a student and I have my boyfriend or my husband, and then I had to pay money to sort my courses out. Do you know, even for me to tell my husband that I paid to get sorted out, one day will be used against me.
Yes.
Why would I want to do a thing as heavy as that? Because I'm trying to justify.
Wait. But the point is not, it's not just to not tell, it's to avoid doing it. Because if you don't tell, something else will tell. Something will give you up. That's the way these things work. Okay? There's so many things you're going to do that you're going to get away with. White lies, spending too long, talking behind his back, or comparing him to some other, or not feeling him, or just completely cheating him out of Kerewa. Right? There's so many things you're going to do already to offend each other in a relationship or a marriage. Do something this extreme. No, you don't have to tell on yourself. Something will tell on you. You're not capable. Eventually, you're not capable of keeping this forever. It's just too much.
Let me tell you, but let me back you up what you just said. When I was going to find out about my ex infidelity, he literally handed him over all the evidence without him knowing it. Like, I wasn't looking for it. I never searched. I'm not the kind of a woman that looking back like, oh, no, up until the time that I find out, I was just living my life, raising my kids. When that time came, I'm not lying. Like, literally, he, unknowingly to him, handed me, and he couldn't figure it out. To tomorrow, he couldn't figure it out because I want him to forever be wondering, how did she know this much, right? Yes, I want that would be for him to figure out. It's not going to be my job. But you know what he said? He said, I hire some kind of investigator or something. I was like, yeah. So I never tell him how he will feel himself, but he did.
Yeah, we're terrible. We're terrible at hiding this kind of stuff. If you want to know my own personal stories, I think my wife put some of them in the book. We're terrible. you can go download the book for free. Especially men are terrible at hiding. That's the link, www.loveandprestige.com. You can download the book from there.
I'm gonna share screen.
It's you can't, you just, like, I felt the same way. I was like, but she told me some things years later, maybe more like 10 years later, and how she stumbled into some stuff, and some of the stuff that put her in that position to resent for years, up to 8 years, that she kept some things inside.
She didn't say anything.
I mean, certain behavior here and there, and I'm wondering, I just thought it was just regular day, until she pulled the plug on the marriage, So then everything started to come out in like 2 weeks, like back to back, all these stories of all these things that she resented for 8 years. So I'll show that again for people who are interested in that. Let's keep going through this.
Let him go out and hunt himself. I won't do it.
You see, Samaria.
I'm gonna come down here,
but I can't do it for
okay, you wanna come down? Thank you so much for hanging out. Yep.
All right.
Good to see you. Talk soon, okay? Bye. All right. All right. Let me see. Life with Natu says, man, I was denied free health insurance in 2010 because I was making $5,100 above the cut. Yep. Happens all the time. Exactly. There's no free money anywhere. Wow, interesting. This is battlefield of the mind. Attitude. Okay. There is no real African man on this earth who will allow his lawful wife to do such foolishness. Yeah, I'm guessing that's a man who is no title. You can, bros, show your name now. Shout out to no title. Yeah, most people can't handle that, And I'll even argue that a lot of women these days, people are expecting women to be able to handle cheating and infidelity and get away with it. I'm telling you, especially if you live in the Western world, you go collect, it will just shock you. Everybody will beg her, and she'll be like, she can't. And if she stays, she will make your life hell. So that's not necessarily a good thing that she stays after she finds out. So both sides, don't assume that anyone is willing to deal with this kind of atrocity or betrayal. Trust is a very, very delicate thing. Once you mess with it, it might be tough. It depends on the person. It might be tough to come back from it.
Somebody.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, and by the way, there's a formula to build trust. Okay, there is formula. Yes. Okay, as long as you're dealing with a human being and you have person that know what they're doing to help you with that formula, humans are also predictable. The problem is that you too may be caught up in your emotions and you're not. Number one, you don't know what to do. Number two, you you couldn't sustain the level of patience that's required to go through the process, right? Most human beings might not be able to do that because at some point you're like, after all, you should forgive. She should forgive too. Now you can't manipulate people into forgiveness. It doesn't work. It makes things worse. Let's keep going.
Bring Nigeria.
I gotta go. Go ahead and bring someone in Nigeria.
All right.
So you can, yes.
All
okay.
right.
God bless you all. Nice talking to you. Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you.
Welcome.
I will come here and sit down on my high horse and say it is bad, it is nonsense. I will actually agree with my wife if she does something like that. However, I need to be very. This person is here saying, Organa lie. Let me just block you so you don't have to hear what I'm not very tolerant of idiots. I hope you know that. Joe Boy, whatever it is that you wanted to say. Joe Boy. Listen to somebody's name. J Boy Two Fin. You go no sin and local.
Let me give Freeze credits. Shout out to Daddy Freeze for the content. We're using this in fair use. Within fair use guidelines.
Please, who is in Nigeria? I can't do it for any man.
Let me see.
Now all of a sudden this girl wants to.
Let me hear this, auntie.
What was he looking for? Can always be eating.
That man is a liar.
They are not
cheat.
They are not telling us the
truth. That woman, he has to pay her off.
Huh?
At least 100 million.
He
has to pay her off.
100 million or 200 million.
Look at the woman eyes.
She's trolling. She's trolling.
That woman helped his life. Okay, if he was not elevated with his new. Now all of a sudden this girl wants to marry him because he's a big boy.
Mm-hmm. You see, that's why you're not supposed to even do it because it will be used against you. And the person you are doing it,
he will find out. She didn't know.
Why wouldn't he find out?
Just
why would you want to hide the skeleton?
No, she didn't know.
Why?
She didn't know.
You want to do something?
Your daddy.
To do it. And if she didn't do it, the man would probably, maybe by now, he wouldn't even have a job. There's so many first-class students that don't have a job in Nigeria. 10 years, graduating from UNN. They don't have one job. You get. I know some people. I know a guy graduated first class from my school UNN. He doesn't have a job till now. He's always asking me money on Facebook. Very intelligent guy. So maybe the guy will still not be able to get a job. Maybe his life would have gone from 0 to nothing by now.
There is God. Oh.
And how are you sure that man has not been messing around? How many men are faithful in Nigeria? How is it even possible that he's faithful?
Good question.
That man is a liar. He just knows how to play.
That's a stupid question.
How did he find out that the wife?
Yes, stupid questions do exist, by the way.
This woman has changed her phone, probably changed her SIM, probably deleted
he has always known, but he kept quiet.
No.
She what?
When something wants to happen, you go catch him. It just will happen by luck. Oh, somebody.
Yes.
I hail the people where they send me stars. Melago and Sete sent me 530 stars. Chuk Ogun sent me 530 stars. Prince Fidelis sent me 50 stars. Charles Uzeke and Sahid. Thank you guys so very much. I appreciate you guys. We are sending me stars.
I want that woman to pick up her pieces, get some money off the man, and move on. The man should just settle her out. When the man should first of all leave the job, because he can't be in that job and be feeding another.
Abba is a lie. Sabi lie.
You should still remember that if not for that platform that the wife gave him at first, he wouldn't be where he's going to now. He has gathered at least 5 years work experience. So any company will hire him and pay him more.
If I were him, I would forgive her.
Yes, he should forgive. Go to therapy.
Yeah.
He will try. He should try and heal. You understand? Because this other woman
is God.
Men don't forgive, right?
They don't.
They don't forgive.
But
men hurt
situation
more
help.
you.
All right, let's address that once and for all. Okay. Let's address that one for all. There are lots, especially in Nigeria, by the way, a lot of men are forgiving this type of behavior, but because it's attached to their ego, they will never come out. It's attached to their woman, they will never come out. They're taking that to their grave. Why? Because why would they want to share that they are being the sucker, right? Why would they want... women can like, oh, he cheated on me, he did this, he did... Women are also in an environment where it's encouraged that they can speak and say, this is what you went through. And it's like, because patriarchal society is kind of accepted in a little twisted way. They say, right? Men has come, they say no. But a man, the last thing he wants to come out and tell the whole world is that, oh, this happened to me. That's not recorded anywhere as data. Man, men can never forget. There's more men forgiving than you realize. And they come out all the way. Just think about it a little bit extra beyond surface stuff, right? If a man has gone through this and he chose to keep his family together, do you expect him to come and tell the whole world? What about his self-esteem? Right? What about what it looks like on the outside in terms of him as a man, right? Do you ever consider that when we blanket and say they will never forgive? Anything the man can conceive is happening out there. Any atrocity you can think of. Some people up to now don't believe that women can cheat too. It's like it's always a surprise to them. Right? So let me just tell you right now, yes, there are lots and lots, right? Okay? And the one that won't forgive is loud about it. Because obviously, maybe the family broke up and stuff like that, right? And it makes sense. Okay? That 100% of the stories you will hear is the person who said, I can't take it. That makes sense. Think about it deeply. Right? Let's keep going.
It's easy for a man to cheat, but the moment they get cheated on, they never forget or forgive. They will hurt forever.
Nigerian men. Some Oyibo men, they do forgive.
Some do.
He shock you.
Some men forgive. Some Yoruba men, sorry to say, some Yoruba men, their wife will go and do finish. And they will collect money.
At this time of the most of my audience, America.
Because it's afternoon in America.
So over to you, sir. Let's see
Daddy Freeze. You see this new lady that came.
Bros, no for my handle.
I'm not in support in what you're saying. Ever since you came in, I'm sorry. You may be right, but let me just tell you something. I think what is really happening here in this case, I believe I'm a man, right? I believe if the wife, discussed it with the guy, like, the former lady that left, that was there, she said a lot of things that I agreed with. You see, in this issue, it shouldn't be that it's in Nigeria alone or, anywhere. You see, relationship is supposed to be, agreement between, the husband and the wife. Of course, we know this. For me, I won't blame the lady either. How often do we hear of this?
I won't blame the lady. I'm here in America. I know a lot of things that is going on, right? Now, in this case, this lady, the mistake that she made, she should have called, the husband and discuss it with him.
Jesus is Lord.
To go along with the plan. That would be like an agreement. Do you understand? So, but for her to go ahead. No man. And another thing. No man will take that. Give me 1 minute.
Continue.
Give me 1 minute. You see, I believe the only issue here
And the only thing that is making this man to feel like, feel too bitter about the whole issue is because the wife hid the whole thing from him. You know, and he find out. Thank you.
From the one,
Thank
what
you.
if he has known
Thank
from the
you. You know, even Samara, you know, even maybe after she, she did the whole thing, and now came out, and explained to the husband. I believe, the husband would have agreed, or maybe have some sympathy, or have some, some compassion. Like, okay, I know you did it for me, you did it for us as a family, but for her to hide everything
as a family,
Abba, you lie, sabi lie.
As a family,
hide such secrets from us.
Do you tell your wife?
Can I ask you one question, sir?
Do you tell your wife?
Please.
We have done
Samara.
Let's reverse this. If it were to be you, would you have done anything like that?
Oh my days, you are more worried to your long.
Okay.
No. See, the point I'm driving on is this. I won't say what the lady did was right or was wrong.
it was wrong.
In a wrong motive. But trust me, in a wrong
motive. But men cheat without a purpose.
No.
Women still forgive them.
Lady,
let me
listen.
say something. Sorry, let me say something real quick before you continue. With the society we live in, even abroad, overseas, wherever, it doesn't matter where. A lot of people do a thing like that.
Right.
Exactly.
People do it. Even people who are rich.
Yeah.
Even though
right.
So people who wouldn't do things like that are people that have self-value.
Right.
Aside this, no matter how much you have, even if her husband didn't have money, if that man were rich, she still may. In fact, possibility is there that she still would have done a thing like that. These women in politics, most of them, even though they are rich, they still do atrocities to getting higher and higher and higher. So I mean,
Tamara,
what it is. She did what she did.
Can I say one thing?
World in Nigeria.
Can I say one more thing? Now, I want to correct the notion of this, my other sister here, that, the husband has a plan before, that how in between 1 year found another person or found another lady. No, because...
Yeah, I don't know how that was relevant.
1 year is too much. 1 year is too much to find another person.
How did he find out?
The thing is this.
1 year is too much.
How did he find out?
1 year is too much, bro. 1 year is too much. That's what I'm saying.
For a married
1 year is too much.
man with children.
No.
No. You were heartbroken. No. You just came out from a cheating marriage. You're living
1 year.
That man had this woman.
No. The thing is this. We'll both agree that what the lady did
so as I'm
was
single
wrong.
now, like I broke up.
What the lady did was wrong.
Relationship now, I can't move on today. I'm dropping it right away. I don't need to wait for 6 months.
Oh my gosh. No, the thing is that let's all agree. Let's all agree that let's not put it as is the norm. It's the norm. It's like it's a normal thing
to forgive,
Nigeria. Let's
a Christian.
Let's condemn what is not right. If it was to be an agreement between the the two.
It be an agreement. A Nigerian man agree with his wife.
You as a wife, you can call your husband and say, see, this is our condition. It's not
this agreement matter that this guy is.
You can do that.
You can do that as a man. You can.
It's a lie.
You're
not in America. Your rotation has changed.
Because even if
it's not possible. It's not possible. You cannot call your husband and tell your husband, I want to go and sleep with a man to give you a job.
Discuss a thing like that.
What do you can kill your mother and kill your generation?
Please let me tell you, right? I can discuss a thing like that with you, but I'm not discussing it because I'm seeking your consent to go get it.
Let me ask you a question. If you discuss such a thing with your husband, you guys are just doing la la, marriage is going good and everything, right? You're just asking for permission. Do you think let's say he said no, and you said you're right, babe. Do you think that's the end of that problem? Do you think that's the end of it? I'm asking the chat. Let me look at the chat, right? Do you think that's the end of it? Right? Do you think that's the end of it? Like, you just come and ask your husband that kind of stuff. Do you think that's the end of that seed you just sown right there? Let's say you never did it all and this never happened. Do you really think you're getting away with the idea of nursing that idea in the first place? What says you, right? Hey, for life, Esther, we don't know. We don't know, right? Okay. Shake my hand. Which plan? Where is morale and integrity? Not Nigerian men. Yeah, not no men anyway, actually, to be honest with you. Modele, good to see you. Bros, they fall my hand big time. I think they're 40. You should stop talking, Joe. On your coffee break, good to see you. Why is everyone talking about this lady? The guy was cheating too. Was he? Do we know how many children he has outside? I know.
Bobby.
I know that's what you wanted on your coffee break. I know. I could just tell. Yeah, the postman always rings twice. Money and no money. If you're that way inclined, you still act that way. Yeah, you go, Nelly. Shout out to Nelly. I'm sorry, this orange hoodie man is cracking me up. I am rolling on the floor. What kind of ridiculous description is that? It will always wear its ugly head. You ain't got the asses sway. Exactly. Like how? How sway? No, he would be looking at me cross-eyed. Will he forget that you ever asked that question? Right? Yes. Like 3 days later, I'm like, you will have to start looking over his shoulder. If you end up with a guy who is highly insecure in himself, you just lost all the peacefulness in that household by asking such a stupid question or having such a what do you call it, discussion.
I can only suggest, see what this person is suggesting. Right. I do. What's that for you? But I think, men, I know most men will be like, yeah, you go ahead and do that, but tomorrow they will use it.
No, but but for me as a man, I won't.
So let's ask another question. If a man says to you, go ahead and do that, what do you think just happened to the trust in that marriage? Is that a healthy marriage? Let me ask you. Do you consider that a healthy marriage where your man will say, yeah, babe, Omo, life will might change, yo. We'll get. She'll get, right? Let's go ahead and do it, so that our life can change. Let's say in your wildest dream, you wanted to test your husband. Don't ever do that, by the way. It's a terrible idea. And you ask such a question, and he says, yeah, babe, let's go ahead and do it. Right? What would that make you feel? You just be like, yeah, he's just so happy. Is that what the response would be? He's just so happy that I was able to help him. He just allowed me to go and sleep with my boss so that we can have a better life. Is that really how that's going to play out? For like Esther say, no marriage, period. Not even healthy. Forget, the marriage don't evaporate, right? That pumping Pro Max, if your hobby gives you permission, that's pumping Pro Max. What's pumping? Explain.
I won't allow anybody. I won't allow any lady to do that.
Women die with those kind of secrets.
Hold on, guys. Let me even.
I wouldn't want to do with such a secret.
Houston Joes, you've been talking.
Really?
The boy Manuel, thank you so much. Daddy Freeze,
Thank you.
Bring me on IG. My name is Ene Blaze. Since
Daddy Freeze,
yes.
Please find a way for us on Instagram to buy you stars or something like that.
If not,
please, because I feel pain. I feel pain when I can tell you something. I can't send you stars on Instagram. I
Go on
pay.
Facebook. You can buy it on a job.
Hit high.
You can
They can
never
still
have
hit
enough.
high.
There's
So,
something with money.
That's the
more
point.
you earn,
That's the point. So
more.
we should just all agree that, you know, what she did is wrong.
It's a messy situation, but the man should forgive.
You know, it's hard
He should
sometimes.
forgive. She stopped. If it
We
ended
women,
there.
we forgive worse things.
It's hard, you
forgive
know.
only if it ended there.
Sometimes it could be hard for for we men. You know, we men sometimes like, oh
She could
no.
go her way. If
How could
I were her,
somebody
I would go my way.
Ego.
If I were her, I would go my way because
I believe
even
you
if you forgive
guys.
me, I wouldn't be at peace.
That is God.
Exactly. Even if your husband forgives you on this kind of stuff, do you think you should start sleeping at night with your two eyes closed? Huh? You think it's a good idea to, if you just say, you know what, I've forgiven you. Just like suddenly, you just woke up one day, say, I've forgiven you. After such a crazy thing, right? Right? Pin. I see, Pin Pro Max. Okay. Would you say, let me, you won't sleep with one eyes open just in case you want to, right? Go say, is an open marriage with such a question? Yeah, if it's an open marriage already, then it wouldn't be a big deal, right? I think we've seen that before when the husband was pimping the wife. Yeah, that's precisely pimping the wife. We're talking about a typical marriage, right? Pimping the wife, I can't remember their names. It's all the Nollywood people. Yeah. If they already have that kind of a crazy lifestyle, there's a good chance that none of you here want that, right? He will tell you to go do it and will leave you the next minute. Exactly, right? And we would think that's a normal behavior for most people, right? Let the man go and be praying. He should go to 7 mountains and dry fasting. I am just being sarcastic. No, she probably needs to go and pray because we don't even have answers for her right now. The only thing we can do is sound like we're judging her, right?
Where
The
where
man
the story
should
is
pay
coming
her
from.
off for
I
the
believe
stress.
the men,
He used her body to get in this job. When the oil
Absolutely.
company pays him off, he should split the money 50-50 or give her
Absolutely.
everything and say, go, I don't need this
I
thing.
believe
You've been the one working the whole time. How you
I believe
expect
in
him to
that.
do that?
He shock you.
Please split the money 50-50.
Because she
Hold
got
on.
him the job.
Chinwenma Edwin Maleno.
Based on the story, she gave her body away for free. That's on her. He was qualified. Based on the story, he was actually qualified for the job. Okay? And he didn't ask for this based on the story, right? She used her body to buy the access for him. Don't be giving gift that is unsolicited, you know? At least not this kind of crazy gift, right? Because you might just end up collecting. Okay? Big time. Let's keep going.
Eric, thank you so much. Chuk Ogums, Henry Udoka, Ebier.
Yes. You see, if they can amend it.
It would be difficult for him anyway because his mind is already, his mind.
He should just cry it out. He'll be fine. He should just
cry it out.
let
Jesus
is Lord.
Eating your food.
No, actually, that was the wrong. And T waited the other corner next to the orange guy.
No,
do you know what they would do? Sorry, do you know what they would do?
Posting to Canada. He is going to go to Canada and he's going to be paid as an expatriate.
You see, after the woman has elevated him.
Oh my God.
Experience.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Do you know what they would do? You know what that woman would do?
Yes.
Did not
You're right. You're right.
He's benefiting from me. It's not fair.
Do you know what? Do you know what she should do? You remember I narrated a story some time ago. She should get someone else and have the man eat the food before her. That way they'll be even. I told you, let them be even. That way he'll stop talking about it. They'll be even on it.
Yeah.
I told you. You want to pass for someone I know.
No. That shouldn't
But
be
that man has.
Will you keep quiet?
I agree.
So much for sending me stars. Thank you.
Imagine, Robin.
Please let me go so I can go and buy you stars. Thank you.
Go,
All right,
my
bye-bye.
darling. Everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right.
Samaria, and let me close it here on a high. Let's remember that.
Let's close it.
Experience what we're experiencing.
Shout out to Daddy Freeze for the content. This is used within fair use guidelines. Kolewek, listen, the truth is that the only lesson we can really extract out of this, here's the only lesson we can extract out of this. Before we go into that lesson, let me just see what you all are saying. Debu Sola says, someone needs a cup of milk, you now decide to give a whole cow. Rada. Exactly. Thank you, Jerry. The nastiness, definitely not a solution. It's just gross, disgusting. Then Sonny says, who? I can't believe what I'm hearing. You might want to go and play from the beginning because we're about to round up, so that you can hear the full story. Not to even talk about being in a marriage relationship. Exactly. As a woman, I'll never forgive that. A boyfriend cheated on me once in my face and thought I wouldn't leave him. He shocked him. My mom and her friend begged me tire. I was done. Sunshine says Will and Jada. Not everybody has the Will and Jada grace. Okay. Don't count on it. You can't manipulate people into forgiveness. It does happen, right? Let the man go and be praying. Yes, we talked about it. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Let's do this really quickly. Let's round off, right? The only lesson in this is this. I need you to understand that at the end of the day, I kind of agree that the lesson here is not that you will never do it. I kind of know that, right? And it's also easy to say when you're not within the same construct, societal construct system, as this, the level of desperate behavior that's going on when the economy is not smiling at anybody. We have to be very, very, we have to stay aware of that. So not particularly because you will end up in a system with low economy or social standards, is because you might end up in another system of another aspect of life where you would also expect the same level of grace. So pay attention to your surrounding, the kind of people you surround yourself with. For example, in this case, a lot of people advised that it was okay for this young lady to go and do this, right? Make sure you have a strong core of character and values for yourself, okay? And then, because if you don't stand for anything, you fall for anything, right? We all know that, right? If you don't stand for anything, you fall for anything. And in your situation, it might not be you go sleep with somebody else just so you can get an upper hand in the economy. It might be something entirely different, but it's kind of like similar, right? But you would expect a certain level of grace. Listen, I can't judge this young lady. I'm not capable of that anyway, but I can call it out and say, this is completely unacceptable. There's no way to dance around it, right? It's unacceptable, right? Two wrongs don't make it right. Oh, what did he cheat? Two wrongs don't make it right anyway, right? So it is unacceptable. Make sure that positioning is key in all of this. Position yourself. Don't put yourself on a pedestal. Position yourself in a system, in a surrounding where the chances that you will continue to do what's wise for you to create better outcome over time is key in all of this. Okay, positioning, right? Positioning, consistency, but positioning for consistency. You can try to be consistent. You're a human being. You'll get bored at some point and you change your course, and just even in life, in business, right? But when you position yourself in a way that makes it easier for you to be consistent, right? You position yourself in a way that makes it easier to continue to do the right thing, right? As opposed to, no, I'm just going to do the right thing. Chances are you will fail. But if you position yourself with certain type of people around you, certain surroundings, you increase the chances that you're able to do the right thing. If you're a married person, not every married person needs to be around you. Right? You need to surround yourself with people heading in the same direction. Whatever it is that we're talking about, marriage, whatever we're talking about, right? business, your personal career, parenting, right? Everything that matters to us in life in the long term, right? Very, very, very important. Okay, very, 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 very important. So I'm gonna round this off right here today. Go and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I don't think I'll be available all weekend because my little brother turned 40. Yes, so we're gonna be throwing down this weekend for that, and and we have guests from all over in town as well. So I will definitely be seeing you on Monday. There's tons of videos coming your way. So videos are scheduled to be released during this weekend. Make sure you're catching every single one of them. Give us thumbs up. Just take the extra time to support me. Thumbs up, Cashapp, super chat. Thank you so much for everyone that's supporting. Membership is open. Membership is as low as $1 or something like that, right? Any way you can support is highly appreciated so we can keep doing what we're doing. And by the way, you can go ahead and download the book. The book is free. It's absolutely free. Okay, they're not pamphlets. They are real books. Okay, so you can go to www.loveandprestige.com to download it. And also don't forget to join us so we can continue the conversation, and also to make sure you are being notified directly by me when I come live. I can come live randomly if something crazy happens. Hopefully nothing negative, right? We don't pray for that, but the gift that keeps giving, right? All right, so hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.